Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. At 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live, guys. Today we're talking about thoughts manifesting into dreams. The power of thought to make itself real, to manifest reality, to manifest into the phenomenal, to leave the realm of the metaphysical and become a thing. So thanks for joining us. You can go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. Let's holler, and we'll holler back. Let's start. So we're talking today about a really important topic. This is one of the fundamental elements of Egyptian Kemetic, who call themselves, call their land Kemet. That's how we pronounce it, Kemet, KMT. There are no vowels in that script, but which means the land of the black. So the ancient Egyptian, belief system, they call themselves Kamau, black people. So it's the ancient African knowledge is rooted on this very concept of the power of thought merged with belief as part of the Egyptian mystery systems, which I'm sure you may have heard about, that in the time from second, third century BC on back, the people of the known world at that time, in that region in particular, would travel to Egypt and study under the Egyptian priest. And one of the fundamental ideas that came out of those mystery systems was know thyself, which, of course, the Greeks, which is an extraordinary theft, turned that into what's known as the Delphic maxim, which is the know thyself, which is a complete lie of history. But anyway, I don't want to get too far afield of that. The Greeks, the folks of that region, of course, studied into Rome, studied in Egypt, and eventually set up their headquarters there at Alexandria when they invaded Egypt through Alexander the Great. It wasn't so great to the Egyptians. But the other major idea from those Egyptian mystery systems, was the power of thought merged with belief, right? As you believe, so it is. And so I encourage you to do some of your own reading, your own research. You can reach out to me and I can direct you to a series of books. But if you can just capture that idea about the power of the mind when fused with belief. So in the Christian context, so Jesus, I'm sure many of you must know this, traveled to Egypt, obviously, and much of his philosophy, his ministry, was completely based upon the Egyptian mystery system. The ideal of faith is kind of the Christian representation of this Egyptian mystery school system of believing a thing with emotion and surety, and then having an image in your mind. So as you believe it, so that thing becomes. The more you believe it, the more ritualized you can engage in that particular belief system, in that belief pattern. We call them rituals. The greater chance of that thing manifesting. I mean, which sounds a little crazy, I know, but this is metaphysical science. I've seen it, I've experienced it many, many times. This is a real thing. It's simple, but it ain't easy, because all around us, the world is saying, don't believe, let your mind look for the most negative, doubt. So this is not, it's a simple idea, but one that, in my experience, takes a lot of work, which is why I'm up so early in the morning, so I can work on my spiritual game. So when I bring it to you, I'm just sharing what I'm going through as well. So point one is, I want to encourage you to do your homework, students. If you need to, reach out to me, but there's many, many books on the topic of the power of the mind. There's a lot of pop versions of it. So you may have heard about The Secret. It's a good example of a pop version of this Egyptian mystery system idea. The Secret, which was first a book, and then there was a really popular DVD by, I forget the woman's name, who kind of compiled some of this information, which many Europeans, because Europeans really embraced much of the Egyptian belief system through Masonry, the Rosicrucians. There's a bunch of folks who embraced these belief systems, and they popularized it in Europe. And then, true to form, they claimed it as their own. And now, oftentimes, they are believed through the straight line and theft to be the progenitors of these belief systems, which of course is a complete lie. These are ancient African, manifest in the Egyptian version, but much of the Egyptian knowledge also came from sub-Saharan Africa, where the Egyptians, of course, migrated from, and from what is called Upper Egypt, which is it's the inverse perspective. So that's really lower, down south in the on the continent, and from the region around what is known like near current day Somalia. It was then called Punt, P-U-N-T. I'm just getting all to the history of it, but so much of the Egyptian belief system is coming straight out of the Somalia, Ethiopia area, which they believe that Egyptians believe that's where the Garden of Eden is, where life began, in the region around Punt, which they call Ta-Nater, the land of the gods, but that's something different. I'm just way deep into the history right now, but I want you just to do a little research, because once you have your own belief in it based upon what you've read, studied, researched, thought about, that's what builds your faith in it, because it doesn't always work the way you would like it to work. Meaning, it doesn't always, when you hold these thoughts in your mind, they don't always manifest immediately, or they don't manifest in the way that you exactly want them to manifest, and that can impact your belief in it, right? And belief is so much a part of this system. So the more that you can know, study, work on gaining and acquiring knowledge about it, the more organically your belief will begin to grow, and the more powerful you'll be at it being able to manifest these things, which is so important. Why people who know the work, like we need to be able to be able to what we call demonstrate. I can tell you these things, but when I can demonstrate it for you, that's when that's my experience, when people begin to really believe it. So my kids, my lady Carmen, my kids, because we live here, they see it up close, and to be honest, if the things that I've seen and at times been involved in, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it. In my case, I hadn't actually done it myself. My kids, who you can't tell anything, super, like most people are, like, oh, come on, Dad. But when they see it, they're like, whoa, it's crazy. So my children, because they live with me, they're around me so much, they have seen this African ancient Egyptian mystery system process do what it does. And I don't know, slowly over the years, they have begun to embrace it. They don't have the faith or don't have the belief in it. They're too young, but they have the foundation. And then eventually, when they become older and they begin to practice it themselves, because now they just use my power. Hey, Dad, I need you to meditate on this for me right now. I'm like a 7-Eleven for meditation and manifestation. But that shows me that they see that it's real. So, and we don't just do it because to get stuff, but that's just one of the benefits, which goes into point 2. And so, as you begin to do this work, you can begin to embrace the other really important part of it, which is the idea of this work is to bring you to your highest level of what we just call spiritual manifestation. So to be your highest self, to know yourself as, in the Egyptian context, which is knowing thyself means to know that you are part and parcel of the primordial energy, the God, call it Jesus, call it Yahweh, whatever. That thing that was here first, that's everywhere, that is everything. Whereas the old black people say that is everything. That thing is also inside of you. And so I call it one love. So when we are using these mystic powers, these powers of manifestation, the other aspect is to make decisions that can elevate your ability to be your most true and authentic and powerful version of what I would call one love, which goes into point 3, which is as you live that, what I call one love every day, whatever is going on. So outside the bounds of circumstance, you will have an unbelievable uptick in productivity and an extraordinary joy. Boom goes the dynamite. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces, I'm out.